We have a special edition of Mining Minutes Wrap-Up coming up with the President and Chief Executive Officer of QMX Gold Corp. Stay tuned. We're here in studio with François Perron, President and Chief Executive Officer of QMX Gold Corp. François, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me over.
You have a couple projects in Quebec, project in Manitoba. You can get a quick overview of your operations.
Well, I have actually a producing mine up in Val d'Or called Herbin, and it's been, when I joined 2 years ago, it was a struggling operation. We launched a turnaround plan, and we announced that we were provided guidance at the beginning of the year. It would do about 20,000 ounces, cash cost pretty high, but at least we're meeting the guidance we gave, and so far, year to date, we're pretty much bang on the guidance we provided. So it's coming along. There's still a lot of work to do there, and I look forward to giving more guidance once we finish wrapping up our numbers for the next year. But so far, the production is there, the costs are coming down, the team is doing good work and being able to get the ounces out. Okay, it's a tricky deposit, but we're getting the sequence in front of us, and that's the key ingredient to get these small vein systems up and running, is to make sure you have enough development in front of you. So that part in Val d'Or is now, I would say, under control. It'll always be an operation that has challenges to it, but I think the team's up to it. We have about 140 people that work there, and the operations have been going very well. Safety is going well, and the improvements that we're bringing to bear are starting to bear fruit, and that's evidenced by the costs coming down. Last quarter, we were at about $13.50, $13.60 an ounce, and it's not going to be a straight line, but the direction is from the top left to the bottom right, and that's what you want.
16,000 ounces through 3 quarters, I believe, is the number. Are you going to be ramping up higher production in 2013, moving forward 2014?
I think that the deposit itself will tell us how much we can do. I think for now, the biggest goal we've had there is just to at least get to steady state, okay? Because it's nice to have huge ambition, but the nature of the deposit, until we find something a bit bigger, I think just keeping it steady state is the goal. And yeah, we are looking for ways to increase that. Obviously, that would reduce our production costs, but bumping up a quarter and compromising the future of the mine is not the way to go. So we got to make sure we have a plan that has a sequence out in front of us, so that I would say that the target's going to be in line with this year's target for next year. But there are opportunities. The mill that we have there, we're only using at about 40% of its capacity. So if we were to find another satellite operation that we could feed the mill, I think it could also reduce our operating cost overall, just by virtue of the fact that you got more volume going through the mill. So there's opportunities there, but first part, we had to get control of the existing situation. At the end of 2012, we can almost say mission accomplished. I still have to publish the results, but so that next year, for the time being, at the existing mine, I would view that our objective has been to replace what we've mined there. It's a short mine life. There's more, we've been publishing some good discovery and some success there. And I think that, now we're going to start to think about other opportunities in the area. Clearly, I have to address the opportunity in Manitoba as well, so my plate's full for next year.
Quebec is a bit of a hotspot right now with the new government that came in. Just wanted to get your take on how it's been dealing with the new Parti Québécois government. Have they been supporting your mine? Have you been in contact with them at all?
Well, I've been kind of busy because I'm trying to fund this project in Manitoba that I have, so I haven't had direct contact with the government. Clearly, the situation has created uncertainty. The stock market doesn't like uncertainty. Companies don't like uncertainty, so I think that my position on that is I'd like to get some clarity. I have a high-cost asset, so that if the government wants too much of what we make, there's nothing left for the shareholders. I'll see where the chips fall. Clearly, we're making our position known, but we haven't gotten the final look of how things are going to be. So before I start saying it's going to be like this or that, let's see how they come out. They're in the middle of a process right now. We should have more clarity in the coming months, and that's what we'll adjust on.
Sounds good. Before you leave, it is that time of the year where we're looking for gold forecast for 2013. What do you think gold's going to be doing in the next year?
I am definitely somebody who thinks that the gold price is going to be going higher. I think that the forces that make gold prices go higher are still very strong. You're seeing real interest rates still being negative, and I think that that's going to be sustained. The statements that have come out, whether it be from the States, from Japan, all point to the fact that we're trying to create inflation. That leads to an environment of negative interest rates or negative real rates. In that context, I think that gold should continue to rise. My own forecast is probably that we're going to go over $2,000 an ounce. I mean, I don't know exactly when. I do know one thing: gold prices are going to continue to rise. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that we have all the elements of a very long cycle in this. This deleveraging cycle and re-leveraging of the governments is what we're going through. This thing is very, very bullish for gold prices. I wake up in the morning and I wish I were in the gold business. Okay, so that I still am very bullish on gold. I think we still have to see a lot of good developments there. And it's worth me pursuing. Like, I have another project in Manitoba I'm trying to get off the ground, and or get into the ground, I guess is the right way to say it. But overall, I think that the gold prices will be higher. My forecast average for the year, probably between 1,900 and 2,100, so 2,000. I think there'll be resistance there, technically. I don't look at the technicals that much. I do know that the context of the amount of debt out there and the reflation play is still very good, and I think it still has a lot of time to go. So, I mean, I know gold's been going up for the last 12 years. Let's not forget these interest rate cycles are 30-year cycles. So calling it over too soon, it's a little bit too soon when central banks have just started buying about 2 years ago. That's a cycle that usually lasts about 10 years. So I think we still got a lot of good years in front of us.
Thank you very much for coming in.
My pleasure.
Appreciate your time.
Okay.
And thank you for watching this week's edition of Mining Minutes Wrap-Up with François Perron. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to send them to newsfeedback@kitco.com. Cheers.